Ramontada! Funny enough, at some point in life, if all hopes are gone, all faith is lost, that's when you start putting your trust in things you don't even believe in. But you start calling on anything. But here are we, English class, calling on Ramontada! Thinking of calling a comeback. Let me welcome my people. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video are 10 of the famous UEFA Champions League comebacks ever in football history. And I know this video will get me a lot of haters. If they don't agree with me, they will hate me for this. But I don't even care. We don't waste too much of time. If you're new here, my name is Andy. Finally, you are welcome to the channel. Like this video, comment your thoughts, or list your top 10 or top 5 of the UEFA Champions League comebacks. Which one do you agree with me, or which one do you disagree with me? Let me know at the comment section. Without wasting much of your time, let's get started. Starting off this video, coming at number 10 is no other than Chelsea versus Barcelona in 2009. This was a UEFA Champions League. The first leg ended in a 0-0 draw at the Camp Nou. And coming into the second leg of this fixture at the Stamford Bridge, Chelsea got the early goal through Michael Essien. He scored a very brilliant goal, which is one of my favorite Chelsea's goals in history. Last minute, 10 minutes into the game, Andres Iniesta got the equalizer. It was superb. What a goal it was. And that goal remains one of the most iconic UEFA Champions League last minute goals in history. But that goal was a heartbreaking to most Chelsea fans, and even Chelsea fans still up to date, anytime they mention of that goal, they still want to cry because it was so heartbreaking at the moment Iniesta scored that goal, making it 1-1, and Barcelona advanced to the next stage with goal difference. That was the only reason Barcelona qualified. So this was one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the UEFA Champions League, and this comes in at number 10. Coming in at the number 9 position in one of the most famous UEFA Champions League comebacks in history ever is between AS Monaco versus Real Madrid. This happened in the year 2004. The first leg ended in a 4-2 victory for Real Madrid. All was so fighty, all was so celebrating when Madrid thought they've already qualified to the next stage. But what happened in the second leg? Monaco, also in France, ended up beating Real Madrid by 3-1. On aggregate, happened to be a 5-5 on aggregate, and at the end of the day, Monaco advanced to the next stage on away goals difference. So that was shocking and heartbreaking to Real Madrid team or Real Madrid fans. Up to date, they still remember that very moment when Monaco eliminated Real Madrid from the UEFA Champions League. This comes in at number 9. Moving on to the number 8 position of one of the most iconic UEFA Champions League comebacks in history. It happened in 1999 UEFA Champions League final between Manchester United and Bayern Munich. In this game, Bayern Munich got the early goal, making it 1-0 in favor of Bayern. Always so rosy, Bayern thought they were winning or lifting the UEFA Champions League. Not knowing, last minute into the game, Manchester United ended up scoring 2 late goals to end up winning that game by 2-1, and Manchester United won the 1999 UEFA Champions League with 2 late goals, and this makes it one of the most iconic UEFA Champions League comebacks in history, and this comes in at number 8. One of the most iconic UEFA Champions League comebacks in history, coming in at number 7, is between Chelsea versus Napoli. The first leg of this game ended in a 3-1 victory in Italy for Napoli. So all was so rosy for Napoli, thinking they were qualified to the next stage. But the second leg happened at the Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea ended up winning that game by 4-1. At the end of the day, Chelsea eliminated Napoli and advanced to the next stage on 5-4 on aggregate. This makes it one of the most iconic Champions League comebacks because that was the first time Chelsea ever won their first UEFA Champions League. And this makes it one of the most iconic comebacks in the history of the UEFA Champions League. And this one comes in at number 7. To the number 6 position on the most iconic UEFA Champions League comebacks in history is between Ajax Amsterdam versus Tottenham Hotspur. Well, this happened in 2019 where the first leg ended in a 1-0 victory for Ajax, and well, going to the second leg, Ajax, knowing they won the first leg, they went to the second leg and they played at their own backyard. At the end of the day, Ajax lost that game by 3-2 against Tottenham Hotspur. Lucas Moura ended up scoring hat-trick for Tottenham Hotspur. So at the end of the day, Tottenham advanced to the finals of the UEFA Champions League with 3-3 on aggregate, and Tottenham advanced to the final. So this makes it one of the most iconic UEFA Champions League comebacks. In recent memories, anytime Ajax remember that this happened to them at their own background, it brings them tears, and I think it's one of the most iconic times or iconic comebacks in the UEFA Champions League. Of winning the first leg to losing it at your own backyard makes it so heartbreaking, and this comes in at number 6. Moving on to number 5 of the most iconic UEFA Champions League comebacks in history happened in 2004. It was between Deportivo La Corona versus AC Milan. Well, the first leg, AC Milan managed to beat La Corona by 4-0 in Italy. And the second return encounter in Spain, Deportivo La Corona also ended up beating AC Milan by 4-1. So on aggregate, it ended up in a 5-4 victory for Deportivo La Corona. And we all know, with the history of the UEFA Champions League, we know AC Milan to be a top team or one of the most greatest teams to ever play in the UEFA Champions League. And this happening to them with a small club from Spain, it was so heartbreaking. And this marks it to be one of the most iconic comebacks in the history of the UEFA Champions League. And this comes in at number 5. Yes, moving on to the number 4th position of the most iconic comebacks in the history of the UEFA Champions League. This one comes in at number 4. What happened in 2018 where AS Roma versus Barcelona. The first leg ended in a 4-1 victory for Barcelona at the Camp Nou. And the return encounter in Italy, AS Roma ended up beating Barcelona by 3-0. Mind you, the likes of De Rossi and Co. This was when Barcelona had got broken at the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. This was what was happening that led Messi to even leave Barcelona, because it was so heartbroken, so disappointing that after winning 4-1 in the first leg, you end up losing 3-0 and later on got eliminated by AS Roma. This was shocking, and this marks it to be one of the most iconic, historic comebacks history in the UEFA Champions League, and this marks it at number 4. Moving on to the 3rd position of one of the most iconic comebacks in the history of the UEFA Champions League happened in 2019. It was between Barcelona versus Liverpool. It's quite obvious that you see the Barcelona name has been appearing here and there when it comes to comebacks in the UEFA Champions League. That brought the term Remontada. I mean, it is quite unfortunate. Anytime Barcelona call in recent times, it doesn't even work. Let's focus on what they do. So this happened in 2018 between Barcelona and Liverpool. The first leg ended in a 3-0 victory for Barcelona at the Camp Nou, where Messi even scored a beautiful free kick to give Barcelona 3-0 advantage in the first leg. What happened in the second leg is still something up to date. Barcelona fans are still wondering. They can't even remember what exactly happened. It looks like a nightmare in the eyes or in the ears of Barcelona fans up to date. In the second leg at the Anfield, that was where Liverpool also did a beautiful comeback in the absence of their key players, with the likes of Mohamed Salah, Bobby Firmino. These all key players were out of that game, and while Liverpool out of nowhere pulled out a magical surprise, winning Barcelona by 4-0. In that game, Lionel Messi was present, and that was shocking. This might seem to be one of the most iconic comebacks in the history of the UEFA Champions League, and it's at number 3 in the top 10 iconic famous comebacks in the history of the UEFA Champions League. Moving on to the second position of one of the most iconic UEFA Champions League games or UEFA Champions League comebacks in history ever. It was between Barcelona versus PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. This was an unfortunate situation that up to now is still mind-busting, it's still unbelievable. Anytime PSG or Barcelona fans get a chance to watch the replay or the highlights of this game, they are still marvel, they are still wondering, they are still in their unbelievable mode because it's mind-busting. The first leg of this fixture ended in a 4-0 victory for PSG. That was a game that Cavani, Di Maria, all these players were on top form, and they end up beating Barcelona by 4-0 at Parc des Princes. And the return encounter happened at the Camp Nou, where the Camp Nou Mafia, Messi, Neymar, Suarez. It was sublime watching them. Return encounter at the Camp Nou, Barcelona ended up beating PSG by 6-1. And well, it was so unbelievable, that so fascinating watching it. And well, me as a neutral fan watching that game, enjoy it because it was fun to watch. Watching your team lose the first leg by 4-0, and the second leg you do a miracle win by 6-1. On aggregate, Barcelona advanced to the next stage on 6-5 on goals aggregate, and well, they eliminated PSG from the UEFA Champions League. So this might seem to be one of the most iconic comebacks or iconic remontada in the history of the UEFA Champions League, and this brings it to the number 2. Coming in at number 1 position, I know most football fans will agree with me because how everything unfolded in this game was so miraculous. I don't know if it can still happen. This will only happen once in our lifetime, because normally in football games these don't happen. This happened in 2005 in the UEFA Champions League final between AC Milan versus Liverpool, and the unfortunate situation happened. This wasn't 2 double games. This was the same game, first half and second half. The first half of that game, AC Milan ended up beating Liverpool by 3-0 with the likes of Crespo and Cole scoring goals for AC Milan. In the first half, AC Milan was cruising, thinking they've won the UEFA Champions League. Left with just 45 minutes for them to lift the trophy. And when the second half begins, that was when Gerrard and Alonso and Co also started. Liverpool also won the second half by 3-0, and this game ended up in a penalty shootout where Liverpool ended up winning on penalty shootout and lifting the UEFA Champions League. And this marks it to be the number 1 remontada or the number 1 UEFA Champions League comebacks in history, and this marks it to be number 1. You can also list your top 10 iconic comebacks in the history of the UEFA Champions League at the comment section. My name is Andy Fine. Until we meet in another video, kindly like this video and share with your friends. Till we meet in another video, bye bye for now.
Now I'm going to talk about something.